Is Ms. Zombie and Thomas joining us, or are we in the connection process?
I believe they're going to be joining us.
Okay.
I will text them real quick and make sure. I guess we could do some introductions. In case you don't know me, I know, I think Kim, you're the only one that I don't know. I'm Michelle Coach. I'm the regional coordinator here.
So my name is Kim, and I'm a student from Bunker Hill Community College, and I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Mu chapter.
Welcome. I am Johanna Connors. I am a student at Nantucket Community College in Enfield, Connecticut. I'm your current Southern Vice President.
And I am Thayer Trepach, and I am an advisor at this Nantucket Community College, and I help Michelle out a lot.
Changing in about a month.
Huh?
That changes in about a month.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And I'm Evan Leslie. I'm your current New England Regional President. I am a student at Nantucket Community College in Enfield, Connecticut, Alpha Lambda Zeta.
Hi, I'm Beth Carroll. I'm the president of our Beta Lambda Rho chapter at York County Community College in Wells, Maine.
Oh, in Maine. I was just up there last weekend.
You were, Joanna? Well, you didn't stop in.
Oh, because I just went as far as Portland.
Well, I'm much south of Portland, an hour south. So you probably went right past the exit to our school off of 95.
Yes, I probably did. It was kind of last minute, but maybe.
Where are you located, Beth, then?
I'm in Wells, Maine, which is
I
right
love
off of
Wells.
95.
We vacation in Wells every year.
Well, that's where York County Community College is.
Okay. I might just have to take a swing on through this summer then.
Then you should, absolutely.
Stop by and say hello.
Especially as the associate regional coordinator, you will need to.
Hey. Titles, you.
Awesome.
It's right next to Old Orchard, right?
Yeah. Right
Pretty
down
close.
the road.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember I used to go camping up there quite a bit.
And there's a fabulous restaurant on the corner.
You do like that restaurant, Michelle. I remember when you went up there.
Which restaurant, Michelle?
The one that's right before you turn off of, is it 95? The bar, the big barn there.
Oh, yes, I've been there too. It's huge.
Yes, it was a very good restaurant. It had just opened the day that I came and talked at York County.
Oh,
It
so
closed,
you found it the first day you were here?
yes, it was closed for the season, then they reopened at the start of the season. It just happened to be the day they opened.
Oh, well, there's several great restaurants in Wells, so
Awesome.
just keep that in mind, people.
Oh.
Well, I'll be asking you, Beth, when we come up to Wells. Where do you suggest we eat tonight?
Well,
Yes.
I will be happy to provide my opinions, and Mike's Clam Shack is one of the best. If you're into seafood, it's really good, and it's not far from the college.
Cool. And Kim, are you from Boston?
Yes.
Very nice. So you just live right in Boston, or?
Yeah, my school is just like a few miles away. My house is just a few miles away from my school. So it was nice to take the train every day to go to school.
Oh, very cool.
So, Cam, you must have had some crazy weather yesterday, because here on the western part of the state, because I'm in Westfield, we just got all rain and strong wind, but I heard you guys had crazy weather out there.
That's true, because yesterday I was walking near Seaport.
Mm-hmm.
So the wind was really strong and there was flooding everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We had to close some stations due to flooding.
Yeah.
It was really terrible.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Wow.
I saw pictures on the news of people in kayaks going down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. The weather we've been having. I'm actually heading out to Boston a little bit after this call. My daughter has a meet at MIT tomorrow morning.
Nice.
Oh.
Yes. So.
I hope there's no flooding in that area.
So let's talk about regional officers. So this webinar, we're just going to answer any questions, but as a regional officer, I'm sure we have 3 on, and I know Thomas said he's calling in 1 minute. It's a great opportunity to, work with the chapters, learn some communication skills, learn about presentation skills, because actually right before this call, we were working on how our regional convention is going to work. So what's wonderful about being a regional officer, I'm sure they can all attest, is the training. You get to meet a group of people that are from all different areas and learn about each other, but then also how to learn to work as that team. Plus, you get to learn how to create SMART goals, how to create a mission statement. Also, you get to learn how to present yourself because we give you a script and then you have to sell that script to the whole region. Which is always a blast. But we don't leave you, we don't just send it out there, and we work with you, and we try to do a lot of different trainings. One of the biggest benefits of becoming a regional officer is attending Honors Institute. I don't know if one of the regional officers wants to talk a little bit about Honors Institute.
So Honors Institute was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. I feel like it really helped me refine my skills just in general, as a speaker, as a leader, as a person just in general. It made you think critically, listen actively, and really dive into everything that you're doing all week head first. It really develops you as a human being. Like, they have a variety of different seminars throughout the entire week that you can go to, different presentations, and you're with a group of people that's very diverse from across the nation, that have different backgrounds in every way, whether it's socioeconomic, ethnic, religious. So you have a variety of different opinions that you get to listen to and think about, that help you create almost like a new you. It really helps you gain insight of other people's opinions and take their experiences in, to further develop yourself in the future.
This year is going to be very different as well. Our Honors Institute is actually going to be the leadership development course. So not many community colleges, I think there's only one right now in New England, or 1 or 2 that have the leadership development course. It actually, you learn about all different leadership styles, how to develop goals. There's a whole course that you could take at a community college, and they're actually bringing it to the Honors Institute this year. Plus, you're going to learn we actually do a thing called City as Text. And we're going to be dividing the entire seminar group out into 30 groups, and they'll be exploring, which will be pretty cool because Philadelphia has a lot of different areas and important historical sites. So we're going to learn about all the different sites, and we'll do a project based off of that.
Yeah, and the great part about that is that the group that you're with are with all RO officers. So all newly elected regional officers are in your group. They have member groups, which don't necessarily have a regional position, and then you have the RO groups. And it's wonderful because you have some regional officers who never held a position. They just went from a member to regional officer, so they're learning. And then you have the more experienced that have been more active, and they've been doing a lot more different things. And part of the City as Text is coming back and talking as a group. And we start sharing different ideas, what would work, what would not work. This past summer, we had to do an interpretation of our designated area of the city that we went to, Chicago, Illinois. We went to a specific area, and then we interpreted as a group, and we presented it to everyone who was attending. And that was awesome. They were very creative. You had people saying poems. Our group, we actually did like a physical short kind of play presentation kind of thing where we built a wall and we got up as we were relating to the citizens in Chicago. So it's a great experience. And I think that as a regional officer, being a part of that training, it helps you start developing areas that you might have not known that you wanted to develop a little more on. So that's my take on that.
The cool
And
thing
by doing so, it makes, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go right ahead.
And by doing so, it makes you think about things a bit differently. Like you identify like the issues and struggles certain neighborhoods have, but you also identify the very positive end of the spectrum that sometimes goes unnoticed. So you identify different demographics, different things that are occurring within this community, what their challenges are, what they do well, and what you can do to help that specific community grow and prosper further. So like, it really makes you think about like not only yourself on an individual level, but how you can help other people in the future going forward. It's really a transformational process, honestly. And another thing that I'm not sure if it was mentioned yet, I know Johanna said that you will be paired with other ROs throughout the region, and there's some chapter officer groups as well. But each group also has a international officer assigned to their group as well. And that's really cool because you feel a part of something even bigger when you see someone that's up on stage in front of 4,000 people, and all of a sudden you're in a classroom or a room with 20 people, and that person happens to be one of them. So it's a really great experience.
Yes, it is.
And we pay for Honors Institute, the travel, we actually stay on it's not a hotel, we actually stay on the campus itself, and you will be living on Villanova for about a week.
Oh.
So
That sounds like fun.
Yes, it's a pretty cool experience, a great team bonding experience. And the people that lead the seminar groups, I actually have the privilege of being one of them this year. So I know what's coming your way, and it's going to be quite amazing.
The seminar advisors are really helpful to explain how to look at the different themes and look through that lens to pick that out and looking through that particular viewpoint or perspective. So we did downtown Chicago, and we looked at it with architecture downtown Chicago. We met with one of the citizens who lives there, and we asked them questions, and then we came back to the main meeting and explained to them what we had found out through our research, and it was fun. And Masavi was in my group, so I already knew somebody, but we did get to talk to the international VP, and he helped us out a lot. But the advisor was he was awesome. So it's a great learning experience. Yeah.
And I still hear from students that are, all of you guys, plus we brought students from my campus, and they still communicate with the people in their groups from Honors Institute.
Yes.
So it's one of those great advantages to being an RO, other than, the local speaking events, like as I just said earlier, the regional events. So you'd be the one leading the different seminar groups and leading the sessions for the regionals. You guys get invited to different inductions and different ceremonies and meetings throughout the New England region. So that's why there's the 6 positions that we have. There's the Northern Vice President, which would be the Maine, the Vermont, the New Hampshire, Central, which is usually Massachusetts, and some of Rhode Island. We sometimes kind of share that a little bit there. And then Southern is more Rhode Island, Connecticut area. So we try to have somebody in all those different areas. And then we have the Vice President at Large. There's 2 of those. And those individuals help wherever we need them. I need, here or there, we see if we can help, they can do it. Plus, one of those VPs at Large are going to be in charge of social media this year.
Awesome.
So that's the plans. The other things that they get the opportunity when it comes to Catalyst, the outgoing officers, we will pay for their Catalyst. So the people that, are either of you going to Catalyst this year?
Who are you talking to, Michelle?
Are you going to Catalyst this year?
I am not going to be able to attend Catalyst this year. However, if I am, and I do plan on running for regional office, there's no doubt in my mind already, but I look forward to it for next year.
Awesome. Very cool.
And I'll be able to make arrangements much more easily next year than I could this year.
Okay.
Yes, because also, I mean, we can look incoming. We always pay registration. So and we probably have a room that you could be in. The only thing that would have to be paid for would be flight if it was this year.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to clarify.
Exactly. Yes.
For example, if so who's actually going to pay for all the registration fee? Is going to be PTK or my college?
So if you're going this year and you've already booked, we would reimburse you for this year for registration. So we already have registrations for the new regional officers coming in. And then we have a couple hotel rooms. We can actually, if people are having issue getting hotel rooms, we can possibly have hotel rooms for them. The only thing that would have to be paid for would be the flight.
Correct.
My college will only have to pay like a partial of it.
Yes, they would only have to pay for the flight.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and then next year you would be fully paid for.
Oh.
Yes.
Wait, so I actually have the chance to go to the international convention.
Correct. The only thing that would have to be paid for would probably be the flight.
Oh, that's so nice. I mean, I really wanted to go to this year conference, but I found that it's only applied to the current regional officer, because I know that they're going to do something big this year because it's their 100 years anniversary or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So if you become a regional officer and we can make the arrangements, right? You would just have to pay for the flight.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I believe from Boston, it's only, we actually have, Jen is coming out of Boston, and it's only around $300. I think, if I remember correctly.
I think it was 374.
Yes.
That number.
Down to the 4.
I know it sounds funny. I was in that booking process.
And you would even be able to come the day earlier because she has to come a day late. So you would potentially, you could either go with her or you'd be able to go when necessary, like earlier. So we could always talk about that and see what, once the elections are done, and see who can go and what we need to do.
I have a question to both Cam and Beth. What positions are you considering and running for?
That's actually a good question, because I know that in order to be a regional officer, it's a big time commitment. So that's why I really want to have a chance to talk with you all, so that I can, have a sense how, about a time commitment. Because right now, I mean, I would love to be the president, but I won't have enough time to be in that position. So now I'm looking into being applying for the regional VP.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed that. VP of what region?
For Central
VP. Okay, just to mention it, it might seem like there is a lot of that what we do is remotely, so we meet online. The physical requirement is when we do walkthrough of the campuses, when we're planning the fall and the regional spring convention. You have to attend the International Convention and Honors Institute. Now, as far as additional duties, we added a requirement where the vice presidents reach out to chapters within your region. At least, is it twice a month, Michelle?
Yeah, twice a month. So on the 15th and the last day of the month, I'm asking for a report as to what 2 chapters have you reached out to and what other activities you've done for Phi Theta Kappa, just so what ends up happening at the end of the year, we can nominate our regional officers for awards. So unless I know what you're doing, I can't nominate you for something. And it just keeps me aware of what's going on. Instead of having to check in every single month, we try to do a conference call like every 4 to 6 weeks.
Yes, and then the only other thing would be if a campus would like for you to come do a speech, and ideally we would like to have our ROs as flexible as possible, but we understand we have other things and other obligations. So what would happen is that Michelle would get an email for a request, or one of us a request, and she'll send out a massive email to everyone. And then if you are available, then you can say, yeah, I can do it. If you're not, it's okay. So it's not something like, oh, they requested me, I have to do it. You don't. We would prefer it, but it is okay if it doesn't work out for you for that event. So just to keep that in mind, it is flexible, and Michelle is awesome with working with the scheduling, with our scheduling, and with their coming in, I know that's going to be even more help. So just to keep that in mind, I wanted to make sure I mentioned that.
Oh, also, if you have to travel somewhere, like I came up and talked with Beth's campus a couple years ago, 2 years ago, I think, right? And we
last year, Michelle, come on.
I was just gonna say that, Beth. I was like, no, that was last year.
It was last year.
Yes.
It was right at the beginning of the opening of the season.
It was March last year. That's when we hold our inductions. And by the way, I plan on running for Northern VP.
Northern VP, okay.
Fantastic.
I actually was going to last year. I've had some health issues and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make the commitment. So I was not able to last year, but things have resolved somewhat, and I'm definitely looking forward to running and serving if elected.
That's great news. That's great news.
The other thing that if you have to travel somewhere, we will try to help you out and find like a decent price hotel, and we'll pay for driving expenses.
I'm good all over Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Michelle. So I have friends and relatives everywhere.
That's awesome.
So we need you then.
You do. You don't know it yet, but you do.
Awesome.
So what will happen? You'll see the first day we don't have any meeting of the RO candidates. The second day, we meet before everything starts. So we ask that everybody gets there about 8 o'clock, and we'll do a little powwow for half an hour. We'll see who our candidates are, how many of the candidates we have, because sometimes if we only have, let's say because there's 6 positions, we only have 6 spots, and maybe 3 people are going for the same spot. We'll see if other people want to consider being like a vice president at large. This way they can be not specific to one region, but to different regions. So something that we will look at, especially that day, to see if anybody wants to make some adjustments. But hopefully we have, as of right now, it looks like we have 5 or 6 people interested.
Awesome.
Great.
Yes.
And hopefully we can recruit some more on that Friday evening while we're having some fun.
Absolutely. What specific questions do you guys have?
I wonder if the president can talk a little bit more what the responsibilities of being a resident for the New England region.
Absolutely. So what'll happen is your term will start as of our meeting next weekend. It will start as of Saturday. After that, if you can go to Catalyst, we're going to strongly encourage it. And from there, you would do at Catalyst, you do a little session. We have a regional meeting that we will have at Catalyst, and you'll get the chance to talk with the region, introduce yourself. After that, you go to Honors Institute. And between that time, we'll get you started. We'll have you guys start writing an introductory speech, like what you would as an introduction if you were at an induction. June will be Honors Institute. At Honors Institute, we'll create our regional goals and our mission statement. Between that, after that point, what we'll ask is we'll assign you to your region and your chapters and have you reach out to those chapters. So I usually send out an email that said, hey, this is who I am, etc. Introduce yourself probably in the at the end of the summer, because that's when the chapters will be coming back. Introduce yourself, talk about yourself, offer to talk at inductions. And at that point, it's reaching out at a periodic basis to different chapters, talking to them, doing these calls just like you did today, the Zoom call. We do those every month or two. We already have our fall and spring conferences planned. Fall is going to be out actually where you are, Cam. It will be at in the Boston area. It's at Massasoit Community College.
Nice.
So that'll be in Canton, Stoughton area. That's the last weekend, I believe, of October. And then in March, our other conference will be in Enfield, Connecticut at Asnuntuck Community College. So in between all those, it's the coming on the conference calls, reaching out to chapters in your area, possibly doing some inductions. And in between all that, we usually, like a month before each conference, just meet up once to talk about, meet at the campus, see what things look like. Because, for example, going to MCC next weekend, we wanted to know where we're holding the college fair, where we're doing this, where we're doing that. We actually saw the site. So when we're going in there weren't any surprises.
Good plan.
Yes, we don't like surprises. Well, surprises can be good, but not when you're doing a seminar.
Yeah, we like to be prepared, so.
Yes.
You know.
It's always nice to make sure the equipment works too.
Exactly. And then make sure the chapters know, they need to provide people for registration and, all the different little nuances. Oh, is that big enough for lunch? No, maybe it's not, So we actually, when we were at MCC a couple of weeks ago, we were going to have lunch in a different area of campus from where the college fair was. But there was a beautiful area right outside of where the college fair is being held that they could have eaten in. So we decided to change our eating location. So things like that happen actually as we're in that planning process. And we look for feedback. Is there something going on? What can we change? What can we do? It's a great experience.
Yeah, I think the on-site interview, when we go out there and see the lay of the land, we become more comfortable too with, being there. And so when we get there, we're kind of seasoned to where to walk around with, who to talk to. And I know next week is going to be a great conference because it's a really nice school set up very well. So.
And we're lucky it's one of the largest that we've had in a really long time. So this is going to be great. I think since 2015, it's the largest one we've had.
Awesome.
What other questions do you have?
I wish I had more questions, Michelle, but I've been researching this for over a year now, so I'm pretty much think I know what's going on and what the requirements are and what I have to do. So don't be shocked that I don't really have very many questions. And you have answered all my personal questions via email, Michelle. Thanks. You're awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Wonder how often that we do the conference call, it usually happens on the weekend for an hour or
Exactly. Yes, we try to do it on a weekend. What I do is I'll send out a doodle poll to see what people's weekends are available, what hours they're available, and we try to get almost everybody together on the exact same time. We try to do them, I want to say every 6 weeks probably. We communicate at least every other week by email. But we try to do every 4 to 6 weeks by a Zoom call, just like this. And I try to get the time when people can do it. Typically during the week, it's very difficult to do. So we try to do a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And it's not more than an hour typically. And we will probably do one training before the season starts. And we try to do it somewhere that is centrally located and free.
Yes, free is always good.
So since I teach and I'm the dean at Asnuntuck, it tends to be more of a centrally located spot. So we try to bring everybody there because it's just a more centrally located location. Plus we can get the location. We can get all the conference rooms for free. There's a bunch of hotels in that area, so we can have hotel rooms set up for anybody that needs them. So we'd probably do that on a Saturday during the day because the campus is open from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m.
That sounds good.
Yes, it's nice. And then we go to a restaurant together. We bring in food so we can really work on the goals and your speeches and just do a little bit of powwowing here and there. That's actually where Evan is working right now.
Yep.
You still at the front desk?
I actually I hopped in the car and drove home in between our last phone call and this phone call. So I was like I had it on, I know it was bad. I had it on speaker while I was driving.
That was what all that noise was about.
Yeah.
Thank you, Evan. Evan, would you like to elaborate on what your experience has been as president for CAM? It does sound like she's very interested in that position, and also as central VP, but just anything that we haven't mentioned that might be useful for her to know as the president of the region.
I mean, it's a challenge. You have to be the leader of the group. You have to be outspoken. And part of being a good leader is actually not only knowing what to say and when to speak and how to communicate your thoughts effectively, it's learning how to listen actively and incorporate the thoughts of everyone that you represent and everyone around you. Being able to balance different personalities and different beliefs among the group and be able to tie in everyone together to make one team. It's challenging, but I can tell you it's one of the most rewarding experiences that I've ever had. I can't thank PTK or anyone in the regional team enough for the time and effort that they put in through this past year to make this year so successful, and just how close that we've all gotten. Basically, just taking the time to reach out to chapters over email, asking how they're doing, or sending them reminders about important dates, which hopefully all of the chapters got yesterday, because I just sent one out. Being available as possible for induction ceremonies and giving speeches. That can be difficult with school schedules, unfortunately, but trying to be able to do as many as you can. Just being there for a group of people whenever they need you is the most important thing. If you realize that PTK is more than just about yourself and your development, but aiding others in their development and their future endeavors, I think becoming president of the New England region might be something you'd want to do. So hopefully that answered your question. It's a lot. If there's anything more specific that you need help with, please don't hesitate to reach out to me by email. I'm not hesitant to give out my cell phone number. So if you have any specific questions, shoot me a text, a call, and I'll if I'm not available at that time, I will respond as soon as possible.
You're welcome. So I just wanted to mention, as a VP of Southern, it is more centralized. So if you know from the beginning that your schedule is going to be a little bit tight, or you can't travel as much, I would suggest going more as a centralized position, more like central, because it is close to home. I live about half hour from campus. Campus is in Enfield, Connecticut, and I love road trips. So I've had the privilege to go down to Norwalk and speak at their induction, which was about an hour and a half away, but it was still within my state. I did also have the privilege of going into Massachusetts at Holyoke Community College. They're about 45 minutes north from me, and it was still doable. So I think that the big difference between the president position and my position was that the president, you're more going to be requested throughout any of the New England states. Again, as I mentioned, if you can't do it, it's understandable, but having a little more flexibility would work. But I know Evan went up to York, was it?
No, I went to Vermont.
Vermont, sorry. He went up to Vermont.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he's not making it to York County Community College this year, even though he was invited to speak.
Yes, that's
I
where I got that to come
apologize.
It's okay, Evan. I'm just.
No, I feel that's the thing. I feel bad. That's one thing that you definitely should take into consideration. For me, distance was never a thing. Like I would have absolutely no issue with drives, even if they were far, or are far rather. It's just sometimes balancing the school schedule and requesting to make up something can get in the way. So I would consider that a little bit before running. If you have a little bit of a lighter semester, or you're flexible in terms of like online classes or anything like that, that's a great way to make yourself, I guess, more marketable for the position. When you can bring that up when you do campaign at the convention, if people will pull you to the side and ask you questions, and that's one thing that you can say is, hey, I'm available to do all of these induction speeches if you so choose to invite me. The drive doesn't bother me at all. I'll make it work with my schedule. Like Johanna said, we understand if you're not able to do it, but it is nice if you're able to go and do that, because there's nothing better than seeing a room full of fresh faces and being able to motivate them to get involved with PTK. And hopefully I will get invited to another one from York, maybe a different semester, so I can get up there. Just Thursdays happen to not be, I happen to have class in preclinical planning. So unfortunately, I couldn't do it this year.
I fully understand. School comes first. But while we're speaking of that topic, I'm ready to throw the rest of that out to you guys. We're still looking for our keynote speaker. Johanna, Thomas, anybody free?
What is it now?
It's March 22nd, which is just around the corner. It's a Thursday evening, and it's at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And we would pay for room and board for a hotel for somebody if they want to go Thursday night.
Okay.
March what?
22nd.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't do it that day.
Okay, no problem, Johanna. We're getting close to the date, so I just thought I'd throw that out here while we were talking today.
Yes, and
Okay.
Thomas, if you want to look at your schedule and let me know, we can ask you, and we can also talk to Masambi, see if
Masambi, yeah.
Is it a induction ceremony?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
And it takes about an hour and a half, and we do have cake and all kinds of goodies that I've actually gone out and got donated for the for our food part. So
Now you're talking.
yeah, I thought maybe you'd be hungry.
We're talking to the chef here.
Sorry, I'm a little off topic with this. I apologize, Michelle.
No, it's okay.
Exactly what we're looking at, you know. And then, as you can see, Thomas is an officer at large. He's a vice president at large, so he's able to jump in. You know, we need a speaker for somewhere. That's what his job is, to jump in, connect with different chapters, and possibly do the induction speeches at those. Plus, we're going to have part of the year will be one person will really be responsible for social media. So if somebody's a social media guru, that would be the ideal role for them, because we need somebody to be up there on Facebook and Twitter and, you know, doing snaps and things like that, and working with our website, because we have to send updates, and it's hard to get updates to our website when it's so busy.
Yes. I did want to just put it out there that you don't have to be an expert. So Cam, if you're not really good with public speaking or things like that, or Beth as well, even though you do have that in your personality, I can tell.
I've been a public speaker for years. I used to be an instructor for the government, and I was also the head of many committees. I've spoken in front of thousands of people, or down to just groups of 20 or less. So great experience with being a public speaker.
Wonderful. So you have that experience, and that's great. And for someone like Cam that might not, I just wanted to, you know, you don't have to be an expert. Like I was not I was very shy when it came to speaking. I would speak, but I'm more of an introvert. And part of this whole experience has been that developing that, being able to feel more comfortable. And you develop a lot of different soft skills throughout the experience. So I just wanted to mention that you don't have to be an expert, and that's what the team is here. You have Michelle, you have Thayer, you will have us, even though we are going on, completing our term. Some of us are still going to be in the community colleges. Other of us are still active as alumni. So you still have that support system. So I don't want you to feel like you're just going to be thrown out there and just, have you figure it out. That is not the case. So I just wanted to mention that as well.
Excellent. Any other further questions? I see Masanbi, you're on here. So yes, Masanbi or Thomas, if either you are available on March 22nd, it's a Thursday night, to head up to York County Community College, let me know after this call.
Okay, and what town is that in?
I will.
It's in the state of Maine, but it's like we're an hour north of Boston, an hour south of Portland.
That's not bad then.
No, it's not bad.
Okay.
And it's beautiful here. We're right next to the beach.
Awesome.
Hopefully the ground will be okay by then.
Yes.
And if you're lucky, by then Michelle's favorite restaurant will be open.
Really?
Was it?
All right, we'll talk about that one later.
Yeah, I think I might be able to do that.
Oh, that'll be cool.
That would be awesome.
All right.
Okay.
We'll talk about that after this.
Okay.
Sure.
Sounds
Anybody
good.
have any other questions?
I do.
Go ahead.
So right now after the conversation, I feel that I was stuck. I was stuck with stick with the central vice president because it allowed me more flexibility.
Yes.
But yeah, so I just wonder, when I get to the conference, like how can I conduct a campaign to promote myself? Like, I don't know how things going to work.
Okay, so first thing, if you can get me your application for Monday. So we want to get all the applications in Monday. Either send them to myself or Susan Swirsky, which is on the application. On Friday, I'll touch base with anybody that's there. But on Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, we'll give you some real clear instructions. You'll get the chance right after we finish with the leadership part of our seminar. Right around lunchtime, people will be able to go out, ask questions. During our morning session, you will actually do your 3 minutes. So your speech will be right after we do, I think, our regional goals, how we did over the last year. So you get the chance to do 3 minutes about the honor study topic and how you can relate that to your life. And then we will vote at lunch, and we will know at night who won the election.
Yeah, and I would say that a good thing to do if you are running, after you do your speech, you want to try to mingle and talk to the different chapters. I did that during lunch. Like, I ate my lunch really quick and I went around the table, and before the ballots went out, I asked them, how can I help your chapter? And random. I just spoke to everyone, so I could bring feedback to the regional officer team. And I feel like it made that connection with some chapters. You have some chapters are more hesitant. They're like, okay, yeah. And there's others that they're like, yes, we need more training or more ideas for how to do recruitment and things like that. So just saying, hey, how you doing? My name is so and so. And just putting yourself out there. Other than that, it isn't campaigning per se, like if you were running for international, where you have to do a big campaign. It's more on a smaller scale. But people basically get to know you by your 3-minute speech and mingling after that. And then they elect who they want to represent that particular position.
And we have, every chapter gets a vote, and we have 18 different chapters coming to this conference.
How exactly?
How many? I'm sorry?
We have 18 different chapters.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And you were saying, Kim?
So when you reach out to, when you talk to the chapter, when you like talk to the chapter that are in your region, or you actually talk to all of them, like all 18?
Yes, all 18 you want to talk to, because they're going to be the ones that will be voting. Every chapter has one vote for the candidates.
Yes.
So it's just about approaching people and tell them who you are. They want to know who they're voting for and what your goals are in PTK, and just sharing some of your experiences at school and within groups and why you want to do it, so they know why they want to vote for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, like, the speech that you give that's 3 minutes long, I mean, that's not long enough to really get to know who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And although, like, chapters in general are voting, they're voting for you as what you bring to the table. They're also voting for you as a person. Like, are you the type of person that they want representing the region? So, like, you get to have more one-on-one and more personal conversations when you go to each individual chapter and speak with them. Like Johanna said, you get to form bonds and relationships with different people, and you get to know people by name, and you remember them. You see them at more than just these regional events, and that goes a long way in the voting process.
Nice.
Excellent.
I just can you guys give me some tips on the speech, because it's only like 3 minutes, and I don't really have to talk about my personal qualifications, right? It's more about the topic, the honors topic. So
yes, exactly. Relate it to, you want to talk about the honor study topic, you can relate it to your life, but you don't want it a campaign speech.
Yes. So my suggestion to you would be go over the new, because they're the new honored. Is it the new ones?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it's the new honors topics that HQ sent over to the chapters. So just review them and see which one you feel that you can talk about the most in relevance to a specific topic. I don't remember which one mine was, unfortunately. But I remember I read through them and I was like, oh, I like this topic. I think I can relate a message. And then I just briefly wrote about it. And then I had a little extra time.
He also has a dog barking.
Yeah. I submitted my application early. So what I did is I just did a rough draft, and I actually brought it in to campus to one of the tutors on campus, and I told him, I'm writing a speech. I've never done this in my life, and I have 3 minutes. What can I do? So he looked at my paper. He's like, okay, you want to just cut it down to the most important parts, and then after that, you want to practice it and record yourself. So once you cut it down, it's probably about, depending on your pace and how you're speaking, whether you're nervous or you're speaking fast.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, it's killing my ear. So, depending on your pace, you just want to do 3 minutes. So I would say get a little stopwatch or something and practice in the mirror, or have someone else listen to you, and then see. And if it goes over 3 minutes, then you want to cut it down a little more. And then just keep doing that process.
The best advice I could really give in regards to the speech, like Michelle said, is it has to do more with the topics than your personal stuff. You don't want to make it a campaign speech, but at the same time, make sure it's something that you feel strongly about. Make sure it's something that you truly care about, because when you talk about something, you can tell who really cares and is being genuine about the topic they're speaking about. If they see passion, they will be more inclined to really ask you why you're so passionate, to try to figure out who you are and why you're running. I think the personal level honestly goes a really long way. Although this speech is not necessarily about you, it's more about the topic. If you're able to talk about something that connects to your life and that you're passionate about, it'll go a long way for voters.
Mm-hmm. And the way you present it, you can tell. And the way you're saying and speaking, you can tell how passionate you are over just a topic that you decided to research on.
I
Hey,
have a
guys.
question about.
Can I just jump in for 1 second, Beth? I have to actually cut out. This is Thayer. I actually have to cut out. I just want to say good luck to Cam and Beth in elections, and I will see everyone next weekend. But my family has an event we're heading out the door to, so I wish you all good luck, and I will see you all next weekend.
All right,
Great, thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
So my question has to do with the question that is going to be given to us after we give our speech. What type of question can I expect?
Right, that was one of my questions too.
Yes, really, you're only going to be asked questions as you walk around. We're not going to ask you one specifically up there. You'll just be ready to answer questions as people circulate.
Oh, okay. I thought it showed that you would be asking us one question after we gave our speech.
No,
so okay.
We tend to just ask you to do your speech, and then we let people to just ask what they want to ask, because if we pick one question, it tends to be not the question that everybody wants to know.
Okay.
You know, spend that time where you can have more of a one-on-one personal question. I like that a lot better.
Sounds good to me too.
Excellent. All right. Does anybody have any other questions, or we're almost out of time?
Yeah, just to give you a heads up of some of the questions that are more commonly asked, just so you can think about it and almost prepare possibly an answer. A lot of the ones that I got were, what do you do both on a local and regional level to help improve and help students develop as human beings? Also, like, one of the most common ones I got was, what is the most important pillar of Phi Theta Kappa to you? Scholarship, fellowship, leadership, or service, and why? So that's a very, very common one. I think like 4 or 5 chapters asked me that. So just think about that. They'll ask you about interactions with chapter officers and how you plan to instill their concerns and implement solutions on a regional level. Just things of that nature.
Okay.
Excellent. Anything else anybody wants to add?
I think I've spoken enough.
I think hopefully we've given them a good amount of info, and
you have, Michelle. I think you've done a good job. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
You're very welcome, and thank you for running. And I hope you guys go through with it 100%, and it's gonna be a wonderful experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely get involved. It's worth it.
Yes.
Oh, I just have one last question. It's about so in my chapter, I know that each chapter, like each year, they have to do honors in action projects and project like that. But I wonder, as on a regional level, are we going to be able to do something like that, or what we do just reach out to chapters and get them connected and
Yes, we do. They typically will do one type of project during either a regional project or a research project. This past year, they did one on PTSD awareness and veteran awareness, and that was as a result of a situation they encountered at Honors Institute. The year before, we did something about food insecurity. So we try to do one topic and one idea every year. That's typically, so what will happen is after Honors Institute, you guys will talk as a team and see what topic you like and whether we do something in the fall or the spring. We try to do it in the fall just to have an idea. We do have something that's kind of being thrown around right now for a city as text when we go in the fall. There's actually a museum on campus at Massasoit, and there's some interesting artwork that's going to be displayed there, so it may revolve around that because we've never done a city as text. So something we're going to look at doing possibly, and that may shape your project that year. And we would actually do the research and everything by, just like this, by Zoom.
Sounds really good.
Excellent. All right. Any other questions or thoughts or comments?
I will see you all Friday night.
Sounds great.
Perfect. Absolutely awesome. Cam, do you have anything else?
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I got enough information. And
Awesome.
I'm so excited for the conference.
Fabulous. Hope I see you both your applications very soon.
Yes.
We'll see them Monday as soon as I get my advisor signature.
Woo! All right. Excellent.
Wonderful. You have a wonderful weekend.
Yes, enjoy your weekend, everybody.
You too. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you. Have a good weekend.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.